Everybody's telling me I'm too small. Am I gonna make it further in my sport? And my father just told me that I mustn't worry what people tells me because they don't have much impact in my life.
What do you get when you mix a tough as nails dad, apartheid, super skilled South Africans, and the Olympics? You get Cheslin Colby, the man who bumps off all black locks and runs circles around international backlines.
The pressure, look at this. Who said that dynamite does come in the small packages?
Cheslin grew up in Fontaine, a tough place. But Cheslin's dad was even tougher. Surrounded by gangs and shootings, Andrew was his son's secret weapon. Andrew and his people defied apartheid and gave up any chance of wearing the famous Springbok colours. They didn't participate in apartheid sports. Heartbreaking. But check out this long list of achievements from the next gen. The Cuzzies, Wade van Niekerk and Cheslin Colby. Rio 2016 400 metre gold, and that's AND in capital letters, world record time. Rio 7's bronze, 2 Rugby World Cup trophies, African 200 metre champ 2016. You get it? These guys are super fast, super hard working, and is it any surprise looking at their backgrounds? Genetic speed and a fortified mind were instilled into the young superstars. At just 5'7", Cheslin's not your typical rugby player. What he lacks in size, he more than makes up for in skill, speed, and pure determination. Tyreek Hill is the NFL equivalent. The Kiwi equivalent, he's Benji Marshall or Sean Johnson with true track speed. Cheslin's burning flame for rugby, Andrew kept burning brighter than a wonderful braai on a summer day. Touch rugby in the streets with his friends and watching his dad play. It wasn't always safe, but rugby was their escape. Fontaine must make the darkest corners of Auckland look like Sesame Street. But the footy, the self-expression, goose steps, no-look flick passes, it's what Kiwi kids love too. But the most dangerous thing's probably an overzealous neighbourhood watch member. As Cheslin got older, even though he showed real talent, coaches and selectors kept telling him he was too small to make it. Or switch to halfback. It got so bad that in 2008 Cheslin almost gave up on his dream, but his dad's encouragement kept him going. Cheslin's path to Springbok glory was as straight as a drunk snake. After starring for Western Province and the Stormers in Super Rugby, many fans thought he was a shoo-in for the Springboks. But the call-up didn't come. What do all the greatest steppers do? Colby joined the Blitzboks and won bronze at the 2016 Rio Olympics. It's like he was using Google Maps and it decided to take him on the scenic route to rugby fame. Out of nowhere, his big break came in 2017 when he made the bold move to join Toulouse in France. Everyone knows about French flair. They just want to play with the ball and give it some air. A match made in baguette heaven.
It's so good to see.
It's one of those moments in a game. I think I'm going to watch that all night and never tire of it.
His performances in France were so impressive they couldn't be ignored. In 2018, new Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus finally gave Cheslin his chance. How did our favourite 5 feet 7 inches rugby star go? He lived up to the hype. In just his second test match, he started one of the most famous Springbok upsets of all time. Little Cheslin against Brute, speedster, and the world's best winger at the time, Rico Ioane.
And Cheslin Colby comes on as a replacement and scores.
South Africa was back as a world rugby powerhouse. For Cheslin, it was vindication. Here's little David beating Goliath, but this David wears black headgear and golden rugby boots. It was enough to make Kiwi fans shed a tear of frustration, mostly, but also a bit of admiration. And when we watched Cheslin make Owen Farrell look like he was reaching over for the TV remote in the 2019 World Cup final, there was a lot of admiration from New Zealand, and frustration.
Remember, it's running on one ankle, couldn't go last week in the semi-final, can go in the final. Cheslin Colby.
When Cheslin was carded in the 2023 final, I thought, yes, here's our chance. Then, oh no, anyone but Cheslin. Of course, our boys missed a couple of kicks to win. Cheslin and the boys went back to back. But apart from the Pacific teams, there isn't any other team in the world we want to see win more than the Boks. Again, tons of frustration, but tons of admiration. The admiration for Cheslin comes from this: us Kiwis running rugby, touch rugby, sidestepping, cut-out passes, goosies. It's a way of life. It's who we are. Scrums and driving mauls are almost a necessary evil. Kiwi blokes are kind of expected to know how to pick up a rugby ball and spiral past 50 metres, and to see a little guy who's killing it on the world stage that looks as cool as every male in New Zealand wants to look when scoring a try, that just hits a special place in our hearts.
Tackles Williams. Away again. Beautiful pass for Kobe.
But in my opinion, this is what makes Cheslin and today's Springbok backs special. Wade van Niekerk's Olympic gold and world record in the 400 metres shows South Africans are world record sprinter time fast. But these Springbok backs Olympic level fast isn't just track fast, it's straight rugby fast. Massive difference. The Boks have found a way to bottle lightning and serve it up to everyone in international rugby. Look at the hilarious beef between Olympic 100 metre champ Noah Lyles and NFL star Tyreek Hill. We all know Hill doesn't stand a chance on the track, and the same for Noah on the football field.
World champion of what? The United States?
But these Springbok lads, they're not just running routes like Tyreek, but reading, sweeping All Black backline moves with huge skillful guns like Geordie Barrett and Rico Yorne. They've got to be ready to flick their hips for crossfield kicks, absorb short balls and scramble on D, find the energy on attack to finish off all the team's hard work and make the gain line. But what about great speedsters of the past? In my opinion, the great Brian Habana was so intelligent, and his anticipation and speed were what kept him at the top for so long. He wasn't a great stepper like today's lads. These lads have it all, especially Cheslin. The full package of rugby skills, anticipation, power in the tackle, speed, passing, kicking. Again, it's like giving Benji Marshall and Sean Johnson Olympic level speed. Here in New Zealand, we've always been proud of our all-round footballers. We've always had great steppers and whackers. Heck, we have tons of them playing rugby league, let alone rugby. But let's be honest, we don't have anyone in the squad who looks like they could compete in an Olympic 100 metre final. The last All Blacks with world-class track speed were Christian Cullen and Doug Howlett. That was a long time ago in rugby years. I don't think we had Instagram or smartphones when they last played.
Dangerous territory for the winger. And Doug Howlett is going to get in, so they back themselves, New Zealand.
The most similar All Black to Cheslin would be Nehe Milner-Skudder. Once Nehe bulked up to protect his dodgy shoulder, he lost a lot of that freakish first step quickness. Today's All Blacks, super quick over the first 40. I doubt they'd beat these Springbok lads over 100.
There. Will Jordan, plenty of pace. Oh, Will Jordan scores. All Blacks.
But let's confront some harsh realities. Us All Black fans, we've had a bit of a complex when it comes to the Springboks. We dismiss the tactics as one-dimensional or boring. They're just gonna rush, get a penalty, kick to the corner and maul it, we'd say, reaching for another handful of chips. But here's where we need to take a step back and check ourselves, in admiration and a bit of trepidation. While we've been busy criticising their style of play, the Springboks have been busy winning and developing their game at the same time. It's like we've been arguing about the colour of the car while they've been driving off with the trophy. The rise of players like Cheslin isn't just changing the Springboks, it's the tip of the iceberg of the change in South African rugby. Watching from afar, there's a seismic shift in the traditional rugby strongholds, with more and more talented players coming from diverse backgrounds. Take a look at the schoolboy rugby scene in South Africa these days. It seems there are thousands of lightning fast footballers lining up to make professional careers following in the footsteps of Cheslin. They've found the rugby equivalent of Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and everyone's got a golden ticket. So let's embrace this new era of South African rugby, as scary as it is, and appreciate the skill and determination of players like Cheslin. Maybe we should start looking into importing the air from that corner of Cape Town, or perhaps we should start our own speed breeding program. Wanted Olympic sprinters willing to play rugby must be able to sidestep a charging rhino and outrun a cheetah. To make a pukana a bonus. For us All Black fans, we'll always have a great All Black team, but our lads and the new coaches need time together, and we'll be back at the top very soon. But let's tip our hats to all the mums, dads and supporters like Andrew Colby, the ones who stood against injustice at the cost of their own dreams and supported their superstars through thick and thin. After all, without them, we might not have the joy of watching Cheslin make Tier 1 Test rugby teams look like they're trying to catch a toddler at a supermarket, without knowing a whole lot about South African culture and history. Surely, this is part of Mandela's dream come true. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time, kia kaha.